Good morning, Pastor. So I just wanted to share with you, I'm out here on my deck, and I was reading. I'm starting to really, trying to really have some good time in the mornings here. It's been kind of crazy. So I'm on my second consecutive day of just sitting on the deck, listening to the birds, reading God's Word. And I came across, I've been reading the book of John. Just really wanted to read the words in the life of Jesus. And I came across in John 6, Jesus feeds the 5,000. And I was really struck by, and I wanted to share this with you, I was struck by where Jesus it says here, verse 5, okay? Let me just read that. Hold on one second, put my glasses on. I'm getting old, Got to put my specs on. All right, so verse 5, it says, when Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, where shall we buy bread for these people to eat? And then verse 6, I think, is really interesting. He asked this only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. And that stood out to me. So he kind of knew what was up, right? He knows the end of the story. And so here's a scenario, here's a situation where Jesus wants to show his glory here and provide. But the responses really hit me today. I've read this many times, but I never really saw it in this light. Philip, verse 7, answered him, it would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite. Verse 8, another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon, Peter's brother, spoke up. Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish. But how far will they go among many? So I look at these two responses to Jesus' question in verse 5. Philip completely shuts it down. So I thought that was interesting. So there's no way we can do this. All right? But it was Andrew Simon's response that caught my attention. I would call this a mustard seed response, right? There's a shred of faith in that. He says, here's a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish. How far do you think they'll go? He's saying, he has some doubt. He's like, this isn't going to feed everybody, but this is what I see. This is what we have here. And I think he opens the door a crack for God to work. So I mean, I think the right answer that Jesus would have loved is when he asked that question for them to say, God, we don't know, but we know you have the answer. We'll wait on you. What should we do, right? And that's the right answer. But that's not how they answered. One was severe doubt, and the other one was a little bit of faith. And then in verse 10, it says, Jesus said, have the people sit down. There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there. Jesus then took what? He took the mustard seed. He took the loaves, right? Let's go back here. He gave thanks and distributed to those who were seated as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. I find that really incredible to me, that Jesus took what Andrew Simon started off with, his mustard seed, and he performed this amazing miracle. So it was just real encouraging word there. I wanted to pass on. I know it's so great to have our mustard seed as our symbol. I'm so grateful to be a part of what God is doing at Grace Lutheran, and I pray that you, my brother, are feeling God's strength and that you're tapping into his strength. And I want you to know how much I appreciate you. I also want you to know, as I think back a year ago, how it was our talks that got my attention. That was our mustard seed. was how you and I talked, and how you helped me to realize the plank that was in my eye. And I can say I'm sober for well over a year now, and struggling, in some areas, but praising the Lord that I'm, walking in sobriety with Celebrate Recovery. And so thank you so much. And I just pray that God would have a blessing upon you as you listen for Him and for His leading. May God bless you, brother. Just wanted to pass this on to you. We'll talk to you later. Enjoy your time. Bye-bye.